Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Garage Talk Sports. I'm Mills,
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Nick.
and we are back again with another episode for you guys. Always excited to be chatting, talking sports here in the garage. As always, we kick it off with our hot spots, but we got a fun episode. Going to talk about some MLB stuff going on, some news that came out with the new schedule that will start next year. Um, some NFL talk as always. Preseason is wrapping up. I believe this is the final week, correct?
Yep. And then
Which I forgot last week that there's only 3 weeks of preseason now. So,
That's true. And then we got a bye week next week, and then
Yep, and then finally into the regular season. So we'll give since the preseason's ending, we'll actually give some predictions, actually exclusively just division winners going into week one. And yeah, I think Nick wanted to touch on some NBA stuff as well, something really small.
Yeah, just big news, but a very small amount. Like it's still the same thing. They're in their preseason too.
But you know what? And then as always, we end it with Nick's question of the week. But like I said, we'll start off with our hot spots. If you guys don't mind, I'll go first on this one.
Yeah, go
so the hot spot I wanted to talk about, this is golf related. So I know it's not as much of a hot button sport as our other stuff we talk about. But so recently, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy announced that they will be starting their own TGL league, which I believe it stands for Tech Golf League, which is essentially just one round of golf, like 15 total matches. All of them are played on a Monday night, and it's virtual golf. So I don't know if it's like indoor golf or VR golf or whatever. It is interesting though that they're starting this, seeing as they've been two of the biggest critics of the LIV tour. So it's like, so you're going to ridicule LIV and the golfers leaving the PGA to go join that tour, and then you're going to start your own golf league anyways. It's like,
were they just criticizing it because they were starting this league?
I have no idea, man. But it is kind of funny that, especially Rory McIlroy has been very outspoken against the golfers in the Live Tour in general.
Yeah.
So like when I saw that him and Tiger were going to be starting their own golf league, even though it's not supposed to be anything like, I don't think it's meant to be anything super competitive with the PGA. It is still kind of funny that they're going to start this own league and commit to it, as they're like, I want to see how it plays out with the PGA, because I don't know if you guys know, but all the golfers who left the PGA Tour, they just had there's a lawsuit ended right now. The PGA Tour has every right to revoke their tour card from the PGA. So there's been a little bit of conflict over golfers feeling like they should be able to do both, and that got taken away from them. So now I'm curious to see with this new golf league what happens, because Rory was very adamant that they should lose their tour cards and they shouldn't be able to compete in the PGA. Yet him and Tiger Woods are going to be, when this league starts, which it's supposed to be starting, let me find it here real quick. 2024 is the first year of it, and Tiger and Rory have committed to playing in it. So I'm curious if it's going to have the same kind of effect on their status with the PGA as all these live golfers. But it just kind of made me chuckle because he's been super critical.
Well, I think they're not going against the PGA. It's supposed to be it's supposed to help those golfers who don't always make the cut make as much money, so that all of them don't just leave for the Live Tour, because then it's like that's guaranteed money.
Yeah,
so
but
they're partnering with the PGA.
But at the same time, like if they partner with the PGA, it's completely different. But from what I understand, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they are partnering with the PGA.
That was their plan. Was they're trying to get people to not leave for the guaranteed money and have more people stay. Because like if you're like a mid-tier golfer, maybe like between 50 and 100 in the world, you would rather go on the Live Tour because that's guaranteed money every week, rather than you have to make a cut. And then if you don't, then you're not playing golf again until next Thursday. So then there would be that Monday night.
No, that makes more sense. Well, that does show then that they are concerned about the impact the Live Tour could have.
Yeah. I think they are.
Which I think is good for golf. There are certain things about the PGA that are a little...
Well, the PGA just said they're going to raise their purses starting in 2024 because they felt like it wasn't...
well, yeah, that's one thing. But another thing with the PGA that's always kind of bothered me. So if you're an amateur, right? So you're on the Corn Ferry Tour, or say you go to one of the tournaments where you can like try and qualify just as a golfer. You pay the entry fee. You do the qualifying round. Say you qualify, right? And then, so Nick, let's say you qualify. Pick a tournament, any tournament.
U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open. Let's say you qualify for the U.S. Open, and then you were to win the U.S. Open. You are not allowed to take any of the prize money.
What?
You're an amateur. You're not an official PGA golfer. you earn your tour card, so now you don't have to qualify for tournaments anymore, but you're not allowed to take any of the money.
That's some BS.
That's one of the things that's like, come on, like you won the tournament, you should get to win. You should be able to win the money.
I can understand maybe they cut it in half or something. Be like, all right, now you get your tour card and you have
Yeah,
since you're
but,
amateur,
like,
you lose.
For like, you get your tour card, that's great, but you might never go. You might never make the cut again.
Yeah.
You know, just think like you have one round where you golf out of your, well, I guess 4 rounds where you golf out of your mind, and then you get your tour card, and then you go back to not being a super good golfer. You know, that it would suck that, cool, I got my tour card, but I'm also unsponsored, don't have the money to fly to any of these tournaments or like, I can't afford to be a full-time golfer with my tour card. At least win the money, you can try.
Yeah.
But that's my hot spot. It was interesting to me, but I think they are partnering with the PGA now that you mention it, Nick. So, still, Live
It's
Tour.
still- yeah, it's
it's
still weird.
it's making its mark on the PGA. That's for sure.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
Golf, but louder. That's their motto.
I like that. I think it's
I had to do
good.
a whole paper, or like I did a whole research project on the Live Tour.
Oh wow.
Nice. Good job.
I had to be interested. Figured I'd do something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not that bad. The Live Tour is not that bad. People are crazy.
It's just all the same thing about like everything's changing. Like basketball's changing, baseball's changing. It's getting more, in your face, like guys celebrating stuff, and like
Yeah.
anyone who watched the game in like the '80s is like that's not baseball, but it's like yeah, it is.
The
It's just-
attitude adjustment.
It's slowly changed. It's just like
Right.
when you go from that's when you remember it being crazy to now this. It's like that everyone's not going to be happy about it.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that hasn't really like the game of football has changed, but really it's been the same. Like the only thing that really changed was the celebrations,
Yeah, they've allowed them to celebrate more.
and like some people didn't.
and
like
I guess
it.
the passing is
Yeah, that's a game. That's a game mechanic changing, not
Yeah.
like how fans view the game. Because like
Yeah.
obviously, if you're same thing with NBA, they put a 3-point line in there. If you're not gonna be mad, you're like, I can't believe my team's scoring more points now because we're shooting threes. Like you're not gonna be mad about that. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well that changed.
yeah.
But yeah, going to my hot spot, it ties to football. Shaquem Griffin retired, the one-handed player from
And I was
UCF.
gonna say he's the one hand. He's got the one hand, right?
Only player in the NFL to ever not have 2 hands and get drafted. I think Jason Pierre-Paul is the only other one that has some kind of ailment. But like that was
that was self.
he was already in the league before that, which I feel like that's a lot easier to go.
and he still has like 3 fingers.
Yeah, but same thing if Shaquem Griffin lost his hand after he was already in,
Yeah.
wouldn't have, like still super impressive that he was played at that level. But same thing, I listened to read his little press like brief thing, and he said he's now moving to Plan A, which I feel like a weird thing to say when like I feel like almost every other player's dream is like
yeah.
NFL.
I'm kind of curious what Plan A
But
was.
I think he just figured he would never be drafted. So he was
Yeah,
like,
that might
in
be it,
college. Like most freshmen and sophomores were like, I'm going to get drafted next year. I don't care about doing anything else. He was like, well, I'm not going to get drafted. It's only plan for after that. And now he gets drafted, and it's like, wow.
You got to give him credit. I'm actually kind of surprised to hear he retired. I don't recall if he was ever like exceptionally good.
He wasn't bad.
I feel like he was capable of carving out a nice like rotational role.
Yeah, like at least being like
In the
third-
mix,
yeah,
you know,
second or third string,
a
yeah.
sub like throw in when another guy's taking a breather. Like you can make a decent career out of that, especially if the pay is going to keep increasing, salary cap keeps going up. Kind of surprised to hear he's retiring. He was also him and his brother were both in Seattle, right?
Yeah, for a little
Yeah.
bit. Now his brother's in Jacksonville.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah, but Shaquem Griffin now, I feel like he's going to do a lot of stuff. Like, there's been so many kids who have had one hand that are now playing sports, or like one arm.
He can
or
have like
something.
I mean,
like,
he was in some commercials. And
yeah,
stuff,
he was in a lot
right?
of commercials. But like, there's some guys that are playing basketball that only have one arm, and it's like you would never think like I'm never gonna make it to the NBA, which like they still might not because it's still hard to get into. But it's like when you see that guy who's like, I only have one hand, I made it.
Right?
I made it to the most competitive league in the world, especially for football, because there's so many college teams that then go into so little NFL teams.
Yeah.
And for him to make it, it's like now he has so many people that are looking up to him, which is so cool to think.
Yeah,
of.
he's already carved out a name for himself on that regard. So I mean, I'm sure whatever Plan A is, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll probably be fine. I'm curious to see what it is. Maybe he starts his own podcast, joins like a sports network or something.
analyst.
Yeah, or he's just a guest, just jumping around different podcasts. That's another thing a lot of people do. So who knows? We'll see what he does.
True.
I mean, I'll have to follow that a little bit more.
Yeah. My hotspot's also football related. I thought you'd like this stat. So, they let Kyler Murray call some plays in the fourth quarter against Baltimore. And so Cliff Kingsbury, his scoring only 3 points throughout the whole game. Kyler Murray takes over play calling, puts up 14 points, almost mounts a comeback against Baltimore. So
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's just shocking to see that.
Shocking. You're shocked? You're shocked by this?
The man plays so much Call of Duty, man.
It's more that Cliff Kingsbury is a
Scrub.
bum.
Yeah, but I thought you would like that stat. Yeah, that shows.
I love it. I love it because, one, all the disrespect that got thrown to Kyler Murray in the contract.
But
you know,
I do have one more thing to add. The new Call of Duty's not out yet, so
yeah, it's at the end of the cycle, so he's
and the Warzone season ended, so he's probably just
he's just coasting right now. He's riding that wave of football, and then as soon as that new Call of Duty drops.
But for real, after that stuff came out about how he had to have like dedicated film study time, it's kind of cool that this is like a little bit like F you, told you so kind of thing here. Also, I like seeing Cliff Kingsbury not do well because I think he's incredibly underqualified and not fitting of being a head coach in the NFL. Granted, there's other coaches as well, but they don't get the hype that Cliff Kingsbury just kind of has. I'll take it to the grave with me. He's in the NFL because Pat Mahomes played quarterback for him at Texas Tech. That's it.
Hard Knocks in season, following the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, good. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
We'll see
how much Call of Duty Kyler Murray plays.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like an opening scene of the season. He's just gonna be just sitting there, just in the locker room. I mean, I don't know. I think I like the move to have him call plays. I was watching because that was Monday night, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, I was watching a little bit. I flipped it on and saw that, and I was like, I think he has a problem. He's a younger guy. I think he has a problem with studying film and stuff like that because he was so athletic in college, and in college it's easier to be more athletic and not really, Johnny Manziel is a key. Like him or hate him in the NFL, it's just like you can just make things happen in college because eventually safeties are just going to lose touch with their guys. Cornerbacks are just going to be like, well, I've been covering this guy for 10 seconds. I don't need to anymore. You saw Kyler Murray last year after D-Hop wasn't playing. He was not very good.
Yeah, he fell apart.
So
he
it's
struggled,
that makes Cliff Kingsbury look bad. And if you I know you don't like him or whatever, but it's just like your quarterback needs to know what he's doing out there and why things are being called. So I think this is going to make Kyler Murray better. And I think some people are like, well, this is just because Kyler Murray's contract or whatever, all this stuff. I'm like, I would like to see that. I mean, I bet Justin Fields is talking to the offensive. He might not be calling plays, but he's probably.
Yeah, it shows his mind for football. You know what I mean? Like, clearly, Kyler Murray's no idiot. I mean, he made it to the NFL for a reason. He's got all the physical talent and everything. Sure, you'd like him to be a little taller, but he can't control that.
Yeah, he can't change that.
But he's still, considering his size disadvantage that everyone likes to refer to, he is a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
This shows more, like, he gets to show more of the mental aspect of like what he understands about football. Sure, it's fourth quarter against guys vying for a roster spot, but he still had to call the plays and everything. Like, it's still it's a testament to how smart he is. Like, he understands football more than just what his physical traits get him. So that's a good thing. And one last thing, I want to throw some shade at Cliff Kingsbury one more time, just because you know how I am. Like I said, I'll double down. If Patrick Mahomes didn't have that crazy year he had in 2018, was it? His MVP year was 2018. Yes, because that was also the year the Bears were good. So if he didn't, Cliff Kingsbury wasn't even on a coaching radar until that season happened. At me on that one, guys. At me on that one. Because he was not considered a head coaching candidate. And then Mahomes wins MVP, and they're like, well, wait a second. Cliff Kingsbury was his coach in college.
They drafted Kyler Murray 29. Yep, that.
To be fair, he's a better coach than Nagy. And I mean,
listen,
Nagy also rode the coattails of Patrick Mahomes.
The bar is all the way down here for Nagy.
The bar's all the way down there, and he's accomplished as much as Matt Nagy. Actually, less, because he hasn't won a division.
Fair enough.
Not really.
But
I mean, NFC North is not the greatest division.
We still
Aaron
beat the
Rodgers
Packers.
was there though. You had to beat the Packers. Your like back-to-back MVP was the most winning
their
team since
defense
Matt
was
LaFleur.
bad that year, and their offense has still never been like.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You still had to beat the best quarterback.
But
Twice.
if it was
and they
the
only did
NF
it once. But the point is, Cliff Kingsbury. Could you say he's better than Matt Nagy? I will be dead serious with you and say no.
I could say he's better than that.
I know he's better than that.
Yeah.
Look at the weapons that he no, but look at it objectively. DeAndre Hopkins is there.
Allen Robinson.
They're not in the. Don't disrespect.
I'm just saying.
I'm just looking at
Allen
it. DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Edmonds, James Conner, Kyler Murray. He knew how to use them. Matt Nagy did not know how to use any of his players.
And yet they finished with very similar records.
Last year.
Not last year.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like they were both coaches last year. Who was better? Cliff Kingsbury. 2018.
Well,
Cliff Kingsbury wasn't a coach. So
you got to go to 2019. The Bears got in the Bears got in the playoffs over them.
That is true.
And that was Kyler Murray's rookie year.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've been in the league like head coaches.
We'll see when Cliff Kingsbury is going into year 3 as a head coach. So we'll see.
So what? We have to give him year 4 and then we'll see.
I think
no, because Nagy only got 3 years.
Oh yeah, he did. So after this
4.
year.
No, he did get 4. He did get 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
18, 19, 20,
He gets. All I'm saying is Cliff Kingsbury is in an organization that's been way more aggressive towards getting, talent for him.
We got like 5 different quarterbacks from Matt Nagy, and not a single one of them panned out.
I'm not saying Matt Nagy was a good coach.
For Matt Nagy.
I'm not. Once again,
That's
I'm not saying Matt Nagy is a good coach. I'm just saying I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is that very good either.
I think if you do the simple pick and drop, if you take Matt Nagy out of Chicago and put him in Arizona, and you put Cliff Kingsbury in Chicago, I think Arizona gets worse, and I think Chicago gets better.
I think they're about the same. Because I have contested that Arizona will go as far as Kyler Murray and their actual players will take them in spite of their coach. And I feel like last year was a good example of that.
But they went out and got a 6'5" tight end, and then when they were in the red zone, they threw to a 6'5" tight end. The Bears had 2 guys that were over 6'5", and they never threw it to him. And that I don't care what.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think the Bears are any better than they were with Nagy if Cliff Kingsbury was here.
I don't know if the record's any better, but I would hope that they would at least throw the ball to their biggest targets.
Yeah, they'd probably play football, a different style of football. That goes without saying. My point is, I don't think they'd be any better because that's
1st and 10 from the 15. Let's run the ball with David Montgomery 3 times.
I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is all that much of a genius like everyone says he is.
We could all agree though. Matt Nagy, then all the way Joe Judge. All the way.
Okay. I mean,
Joe Judge is
but
about
either way,
even farther, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
The comparison of Cliff Kingsbury to Nagy is an incredibly low bar.
I saw a tweet. Oh my god! I gotta see if I liked it. I gotta keep talking. I gotta see if I like it.
Yeah, the bar.
Oh no,
that comparison's brutal. Like, yes, I'm being I'm exaggerating just because I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. Yes, I think he's actually a better coach than Nagy, but I don't think he is going to have that massive, a very big impact. If he was in Chicago instead of Nagy, the Bears are not any better. They're going to be the same crap team. And part of that, is because they don't have a lot of talent. That's just the reality. Would Cliff Kingsbury have used his guys a little better? Sure, he probably would have used his guys a little better, but DeAndre Hopkins is way better than Allen Robinson. I don't even think that's an argument. Tight end position's about the same.
No, I think you have to give it to Zach Ertz. Jimmy Graham in his
Zach Ertz wasn't there until the trade deadline last year. So O-line, I would give it to Arizona. The Bears O-line is just not good. Running game, I'd give it to David Montgomery. Defenses are actually pretty comparable. Well, were pretty comparable. They were both solid defenses. Bears were probably a little bit better. I don't see that. I don't see Cliff Kingsbury, if he was in Chicago, having any bigger of an impact on the Bears than Matt Nagy did.
I just think it's the simple fact of you have to know how to use your players, and if your players are trash, you still have to know how to use your trash players. And hey, they might not succeed in what you're telling them to do, but at least you're trying to bring out the best in them. Whereas I really haven't seen Cliff Kingsbury hurt his team where he's like, let's do something crazy and stupid.
Yeah,
let's only run the Wildcat.
he
even though we
might
have
be
DeAndre Hopkins.
He might be a better coach, but I don't think he is good. I don't think he's so much better to where he elevates, if he was in Chicago, where he elevates them to a playoff team. And part of that is because of the roster he would have had.
Yeah.
I think would limit him a lot.
Well, last year I don't think the Bears were going to be a playoff team, whoever their coach was.
No, but it just is. I think he's underqualified as a head coach. I'll stand by that until they win a playoff game.
But I think a lot of I think you gotta look at it like Brian Flores should be a head coach in the NFL. He's more
Yeah, I'm
qualified
surprised.
than other guys.
I'm surprised he's not.
And
but
some of these guys just get
the
lucky with who. Like it's like, oh, you coached Patrick Mahomes in college, you're going to be a college head coach. Same thing with Urban Meyer. Like just because you have success in college doesn't mean I would trust an offensive defensive coordinator over a college coach any day. Because it's
it's a whole
game.
it's a different level and everything.
And guys just get screwed out of.
But this will be the year really to see with Arizona, because they have Kyler Murray got his contract extension, so he should be happy. The run game hasn't really changed much, so it should still be. They actually extended James Conner, I believe.
Yes, they did.
Who I think is an underrated running back, so he should be solid. Zach Ertz is going to have a full offseason in the system. They got Hollywood Brown. I know that D-Hop is out for, what is it, 6 games?
They have Rondell Moore.
That's right. They have Moore as well.
I couldn't find that tweet. I think it was fake, but it was a TikTok about the Jacksonville Jaguars having no kicker on their roster.
Oh, I saw that. I don't think
and
that's
then
actually
it
true.
looked like a tweet from Urban Meyer. I think someone photoshopped it, and it just said Jacksonville knows how to do it. Like if you ever need a coach, you have my number. Like I was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
I thought he actually tweeted that. I was about to give him props, but
no chance.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
But yeah, this is the make or break year for Cliff Kingsbury.
I think it's make or break for Kyler Murray these first 6 games too, because I think any other quarterback you've seen, like Josh Allen, was good without Stephon Diggs. Like he was good before he had Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs made him better.
Yeah, it was huge.
Tom Brady has done it with no one. Patrick Mahomes is also a test year for this year because he lost Tyreek Hill, who is like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like Patrick Mahomes isn't amazing. I think he's great, but I think also your stats get inflated when you can throw an 80-yard bomb. Yeah, most guys can't throw an 80-yard bomb that's 60 yards.
Or
in the air,
when
but it's easy to get wide open when your guys running like the fastest. You have the fastest receiver in the NFL.
Yeah,
you really don't have to be great.
In their offense last year was a lot of just running over, like it was yards after catch, man.
Yeah,
it was all about that yak.
Yep.
Those are my 2 quarterbacks that I want to see. Those 2 and then Tua.
Yeah, I was about to say you got to throw Tua in there.
Those are the 3 to watch, I think. Biggest changes happening to those 3.
Same thing would be with I guess with Zach Wilson too, not Zach Wilson, Jalen Hurts with AJ Brown. Some of those guys where it's like
gotta throw Kirk Cousins in there to make
they're average.
Then you got to throw Justin Fields in there.
Okay, we're done.
They're like average. If you're like an average quarterback and then you get added a stud piece, that's a big year for you. Like I can see Justin Fields next year, like we talked about last week with how Jalen Hurts, like they follow the same trajectory. But now the Bears go get someone. That's a big year to watch. But then also when a guy leaves, like same thing with Rodgers. I think Rodgers is a stud, but how is he going to do without Devontae Adams? Like,
I think Rodgers will be fine.
I think he'll be fine.
It's
but
as painful as it is to say.
But
it just is like
Rodgers, Brady, Josh Allen have all done it with guys and without guys. So can Kyler Murray do it without D-Hop? Can Mahomes do it without Tyreek Hill?
Well, we saw Kyler Murray struggled without him last year.
Yeah.
But
the one I'm most interested to see, though, I am curious to see how that Kansas City offense changes.
Me too.
Preseason doesn't look like it's changed at all. But then again, they are, at the end of the day, they're still just that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also defenses are they're not scheming for the Chiefs. They're scheming for their own defense they want to run in the future. Like, they're not really changing it too much.
Yeah.
When teams are actually
preseason is about seeing what you've got.
Yeah. When they're actually game planning for the Chiefs without Tyreek Hill, it's like, oh, we don't have to just play with a guy over the top to just always cover that now. We'll see what happens.
because you'll take a loss in the preseason to find out what your players can do. That's a good point. Yeah. And I feel like fans don't think of it that way very often with preseason.
Except
I literally don't care. Like, or they're the Ravens who have
2-0.
The longest preseason winning streak ever.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think they just tied the record. Or they tied it in week 1 of preseason. So but I don't think they actually try. I think they did the same thing. I think John Harbaugh just puts guys out there.
Yeah, so many times preseason just comes down to like which of your backups play better at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the majority of the game is watching dudes who might not even be on the roster. So.
Bandinucci.
Bandinucci.
That's all I think of when I think of like backups.
Bandinucci.
Bandinucci. I don't even know what team he's on.
He's on the Cowboys. At least he should.
Still?
Be.
No, I don't think he is anymore.
I don't know
think
if
so.
he's not on the Cowboys. Then I've got no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cut him last year.
The Cowboys I think they cut.
No, he started a game for them last year though.
No, I thought they cut him at preseason.
Maybe I don't know. Look up Bandinucci.
The Cowboys are probably going to cut Will Greer. Everyone's saying. He's
Could.
their third string. He's a quick guy. I like him.
He's young. Where's he at? Where's Bandinucci?
He's on the Cowboys. Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Bandinucci.
Bandinucci. All right, that's enough of saying his name. We'll find a way to bring it up. I love saying it like that.
We'll bring it up later.
Well, like I hinted at the top.
He makes 2 year 1,765,000.
Yeah, I didn't
didn't
process
expect
most of that. Anyway, yeah, he's backup quarterback's for life in the NFL, man. Are you kidding me? Look at Chase Daniel,
That's my guy.
Nick's guy.
That's my boy.
Like Hall of Fame agent much. Dude's gonna have more career earnings than some guys who've like been starters in the league.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
That's the life. But okay, we'll move on. I mentioned at some MLB talk, so we might as well get through that because I already know them. Most of our show is going to be NFL talk, so let's kind of cover our other.
Already started.
Yeah, we almost went down that road
We did.
without even getting here. So we're gonna do a quick little 180
Pump the
U-turn,
brakes.
pump the brakes, U-turn here, 3-point turn if it's safe or whatever, and we're gonna talk some. We're gonna do some quick MLB stuff. So news that came out it was today, right?
That's
So
what's released today.
so going into 2023, all 30 teams will play each other in the regular season. That is something that I never really thought about, and then I was like, I never realized that they don't
Yeah,
until
I never realized it either.
like after seeing it, I remember like hearing about how that was a possible change. Then that's when I was like, oh, that's right, they don't play, and then it actually happened. I'm like, oh, that's right, they don't play each other all the
But
time.
like, all right, just do the math. 30 teams, 162 games. How the fuck do you not get 30 teams to play each other? Like,
Well, it's the division.
You play your division games 76 times.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
division games are
But, like,
absurd. I get it. It's the most you have to win your division.
Yeah.
But
so
the-
you still the optic the 100. You hear 162 games, you just think they all play each other.
yeah, exactly. Like,
You just do, but it doesn't work out. that
NBA
way.
has 30 teams, and they still play every single team twice.
Yeah. So this is they're cutting the division games from 76 down to 52. So that's where your other games are going to come from, and then
which you got to think. So now for the AL Central, NL Central, that's bad. That's a bad look because you're going to be playing harder teams.
Yeah.
But for like, obviously like the like NL West and NL East, like teams like Orioles, that's going to be huge for them. Like
Yeah.
especially even like the Giants, like teams like that are like on the cusp. This could completely change the landscape. For them.
yeah, this could mess with where
It's
teams.
wild cards. That's what's going to change.
Yeah.
Because it's so stupid where, like, sometimes you're playing, like, not to poke fun of both of your team's favorite divisions, but it's kind of stupid that the Sox get to play the Royals so many times.
Yeah.
And the Orioles are sitting over here like, hey, we have a better record than the Sox. We can play the freaking Yankees,
Yeah.
Boston, Tampa Bay, and Toronto more times than you do. And we're sitting over here like, all right, we're never going to get a wild card spot. But you might have a chance to get a second wild card spot from your crap division just because you play your crap division more times.
No, this I agree. This is probably more of a fair scheduling layout here. Because the AL Central is just bad. It's like the perfect example of this whole thing. Orioles is a great example as well. They're better record than the Sox, third place in their division, I believe.
Yeah, they are. Boston's officially. in
No, they
last
just
place.
moved. Baltimore's in fourth. It's New York, then it's Tampa Bay, then it's Toronto, and then Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's brutal. Like when you play in really good divisions, it just sucks. So this is a great opportunity for teams like the Orioles. Bad for teams in the AL Central, or if you're just in a bad division, like this is bad news for you because your road to the playoffs. Granted, you still get in by winning your division.
Yeah.
Your road to the playoffs is going to be a little bit harder, though. But I do like the change personally. I think teams should be playing. Like, they should all play each other during the regular season, especially when there's 162 games.
And how long has baseball, the MLB, been like?
30 teams?
No, like I'm saying, like how long have they been
Not all playing each other.
existing?
Over 100 years.
Yeah, over 100 years, and no person has ever thought.
I think
to have
I
every team play
think the
together?
Mariners and the Marlins are the newest franchise. And that
Yeah,
was the
I mean, they added
late
teams in
70s.
No, Marlins were the 90s.
Marlins were the 90s?
Yeah,
I think
because
the Marlins
they
are the
I think,
most-
if I remember correctly, they won the year they came into the league. They won the World Series.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. And then
no,
like,
they didn't, because the first time they won was when after they beat the Moises Alou, Steve Bartman was the first time they won, and that was in like 2003.
That was.
Hey, Bobby, Mariners Cubs next year.
no, well,
third week of the season.
1997
Oh.
was when they first won.
Okay,
That,
So they won it within 4 years of coming into the league.
I mean, that's so impressive.
the Mariners and Cubs haven't played since 2019
Ooh.
because they didn't play in 2020 because
In
of shortened
Seattle?
season. No, they're playing in Chicago.
Oh, all right. Hey, we'll go to Wrigley.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, you gonna go?
What?
Cubs Mariners next year.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
That's a yes. We're taking it as a yes.
We'll have to see.
And then August they're playing the Sox. Yeah. Here in Chicago.
Oh, I'll
And
definitely
then
go to
in
that
June
one.
they're playing in Seattle.
We'll see. Well, I'm in for one of those. We'll plan one.
The one in Seattle.
Oh yeah, I'm in for one of the Seattle ones. It really all comes down to when, like, what's going on around that time.
True.
You're already married. There's no wedding. Like, you can skip any other wedding. You just can't skip your own. Like, that's the only rule.
I'm just saying. It all depends on how schedules are shaping up when that time comes.
Yeah,
We'll
that's true.
plan one of them.
Yeah.
It's not because it's the Cubs. I don't know which one would work better. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the Cubs is in Chicago. Yeah.
Oh, the Cubs is in
Yeah, it's
Chicago.
Cubs in Chicago.
In
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh, I misunderstood.
They only play in Seattle against the Sox, because since the Sox and Cubs Sox and Mariners
Gotcha.
are the same
Okay.
team.
Well, we'll look ahead and try and get that plan.
We got time.
Speaking of the White Sox, signed
They're
Elvis
trash.
Andrews, which I like the
Trash.
signing. In like a short term, we need a shortstop because Tim Anderson's out for a while,
And Lurie Garcia got hurt.
and Leury's hurt. So I like the move. He's actually had a solid impact so far. Too bad the White Sox are just complete dick. 5-game winning streak, and then they give up 21 runs to the Astros, and now they've won 5 of their last 6.
Lost
They
5 of the last 6.
lost 5 of their last 6. They are absolute bona fide scrubs. I hope Tony La Russa is gone at the end of the year. It's obvious they're not going to fire him. And I also want Frank Menechino, or however you say his stupid last name, their hitting coach. I want him gone too.
Gotta pull the Mariners. Mariners fired their hitting coach 2 years ago. Look at them now.
Yeah, no, I want him gone because
Okay.
they left yesterday against the Orioles. Guess how many base runners they left on base?
7.
Bobby, you care to guess?
I'm gonna go 8.
Wow, you're seriously gonna prices right me right here?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you think that's a lot of base runners to leave on base?
I'm assuming this is like runners in scoring position. That's what I based it on. Because like runners on base, like guy on first, I really don't care about that. Because normally it's like 22. It's like an average.
That's not an average. 13 runners on base they left. That's a high number.
I was the closest without going over.
20,
Yeah.
22 would be terrible. Are you kidding me?
I feel like 22 is just maybe the average for both teams.
Maybe in a game, and even then that's high.
Yeah.
You think about that. 22 means
No, I'm saying if you combine both teams together.
I don't
Right,
even think like 22 people get on base. Like in
there's
a game.
20. You got to get 27 outs. So I mean, you'd have to be letting at least one almost. No, that 22 people is a little over 2 people on base each inning.
I know, that's what I'm saying. For both teams combined, maybe 22
Maybe.
is what I was.
Maybe.
Right around
Oh, my
there.
point is
Divide that.
they
11,
they
right?
Hey, maybe I'm just screwed up from when the Sox gave
Also-
up 21 runs. You know, that's 21 runs.
yeah. Also, they had 11 hits and scored 2 runs. The Orioles, or 3 runs. I'm sorry. The Orioles had 5 hits and scored 5 runs. I want Frank gone. This team is full of guys who hit singles and then no one scores. He's ass. I don't have my phone. I can't pull up the stat. Oh, that really bothers me. Frank Menechino has been on 4 teams that have had like a really good like hitting, like batting average, but have completely sucked on offense, and it was like 3 straight years with the Marlins when they like couldn't win more than 70 games, and that was a good year for them. And then this year with the White Sox,
Nice.
it's just the
That's
White
different than
Sox.
The Mariners always had low average. That's why they fired their
The funny thing about the White
Getting no hit
Sox
4 times.
is they managed to have a both top 10 like batting average in the league and top 10 starting pitching, and they suck.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like you could be top 10 in both of those aspects and still be crap.
And the only reason you got Elvis Andrus is because the Orioles, the Athletics didn't want to pay him for next year.
Yep, pretty much.
If he would have got 400 or 500 plate appearances by the in the year, were guaranteed to pay him $15 million next year. He was at 456 when they designated him for assignment. So they were literally just like, hey, we don't want to pay him $15 million.
That's just messed up.
So then the Sox were like, all right, we'll make our move that everyone wants us to make. No, that doesn't count. Like, perfect move. That's what the Sox needed to do.
Yeah, I like
2 months ago.
but it's like
yeah.
They still don't have an actual second baseman. And then they're like, hey, but we got Elvis Andrus. Like, yeah, you handed him on a silver platter because the A's are the cheapest organization in baseball.
They really are.
it's so dumb, man. It's so dumb. They suck.
How does it feel that you have a worse record than the Orioles?
Not too bad. I'm happy for the Orioles, you know.
No, me too, but I'm just saying the Orioles have...
Did you guys know this? Adley Rutschman tackled Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I never knew he was the
I would-
kicker for Oregon State.
I would
didn't
feel
know that either. I was
more
like, what the
upset
fuck?
that they have a worse record than the Orioles if it wasn't for the fact that everyone is kind of admitting that no one expected this from the Orioles. Like, it's one thing if the Orioles were having another Orioles year where they suck. Then it would really sting. But it's like the Orioles are having, by their standard, like an incredible year based on where the organization thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And the Cubs just went on like a 5-game winning streak.
so it's like, you know,
Shut up, Bobby. They're not even going to win 80 games. Calm down over there.
Dude, they might. Because if they keep this 5-game winning streak up, yeah, hey.
I thought the Sox were turning it around with their 5-game winning streak.
And then they played the Royals and Orioles, and they've lost 5 of their last.
Yeah.
Well, and the Astros twice, because they beat them twice.
Unbelievable, man. But I mean, the Orioles are having a really good year for their standards. I gotta say,
Yeah, for the past 5 years.
yeah. Compared to what like they were considered the joke of the league going into this year.
And
And
Now it's the
Direct-
Nationals.
Now it's the Nationals, which have had quite the fall from grace since winning their World Series.
That has to be the quickest turnaround.
Yeah, I think they were the first team to win a World Series and then finish last in their division.
Going to finish last again.
Yeah, well, because they won the World Series and then they were like last place in their division the next year.
Yeah, because they won in 2019.
Yeah.
And then 2020. I mean, that was short years. I don't really...
I mean, they just, like, what a collapse. Talk about, I mean, you went all in on that year.
They won.
Too funny. Good thing Bryce Harper didn't sign long-term there.
He
Although
brought a championship back to Washington. That was his first press conference in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
bring a championship to Washington. And look what happened.
It happened. He spoke it into existence. But,
he really did.
oh, man.
Yeah, baseball's going to be interesting next year. No shifts. Hopefully they get
Dude,
rid
I
of...
can't wait for
Hopefully
no
they
shit.
also get rid of pitchers or position players pitching. I think that's stupid. Just watched it with the Sox. Just add a couple roster spots for backup pitchers that only pitch in those situations.
Just let them forfeit a game, man.
I don't want to see Josh Harrison out there just tossing 40 mile per hour pitches to just get bombs.
It is really
And then you
dumb.
get situations where like Aaron Judge might end up getting 63 home runs this year. I think 4 of them have been off position players. I know the guys were taking steroids back then. He'll be the top guy without steroids, but still, it's BS.
Yeah.
You don't get 4 free home runs for
Currently,
just tossing lobs up there.
but I mean, 4 of them, I mean, that's not really that bad. But Aaron Judge currently had 48 home runs, on pace for 63, so that would put him number 6 at the all-time leaders.
I'm assuming Bonds,
And
McGuire, Sosa.
Sosa's on there 3 times.
Sosa's on there 3 times.
3 times.
Damn.
That's impressive. I think it was 1999, 2001, 2003.
I remember him and Mark McGuire were always like, because they were both in the same division, they were both battling constantly
Yeah.
because they had their race to 60
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
their big thing.
And then Barry Bonds just with 73.
Yeah, his head just swelled up and then
Just-
bam, just hitting
gone.
dingers.
Yeah, hitting dingers.
You know,
We need someone to like Aaron Judge. Like I don't like the Yankees. I like Aaron Judge. I think he's a great guy.
he won't be a Yankee after this year.
We
so.
need someone like him who like and for sure doesn't take steroids to just absolutely just crank out a record that beats Barry Bonds. Just because, like, I like Barry Bonds, but it's like...
What's his record, 76?
73.
73.
Oh, it's 73 or 72. I can't remember.
I think it's 73.
I just broke it with my road to the show guy. I should remember this.
What the heck?
I think it's 76.
Casually throw that in there. I'm pretty sure it's 73.
And I do not play on an easy difficulty, all right? I want the record to show. Bobby's watched. He's seen
the
it.
first 70 round beginner, and then he bumps it up.
exactly.
Well, yeah, my minor league career is on beginner because I just want to get
I'll
to the
look
end
it
of
up right now. Yeah, but I just need someone who's like for sure hasn't taken steroids.
I mean, dude, he's at 48 right now. I mean, if he just goes on fire this in September, he could beat it.
73, Barry Bonds, 2001. So Sammy Sosa did not hit the most in 2001.
Okay, so maybe it was 2000.
Well, I guess he could be on the list for 2001.
Yeah, I think so.
less.
Yeah.
But in 1998, Mark McGwire hit 70 and Sammy Sosa hit 66 the same year.
That's
Sammy
just insane.
Sosa in 2001 hit 64.
Okay. That's insane. And you
a
said
lot of home runs.
You said he's not that good. Yeah.
Did I
Ryan
say it wasn't that good?
Sammy Sosa.
took steroids.
When did I ever say that?
Now he's quirky, man.
Ryan Howard, 2006,
When-
is the latest guy, and he hits 58.
Dude, Ryan Howard's a throwback. And when did I ever say Sammy Sosa was bad?
That was a long time ago. I mean, you just said he's not.
Yeah,
that
when you were
good.
7, you said Sammy Sosa was bad.
Jeez, Bob. I don't even.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, you don't remember it?
I
We were
I'm
eating
sure I probably
popsicles
made
on
a
the back
com-
stoop, and you said Sammy Sosa sucked.
I'm sure if I was young, I remember making
now-
a joke about his corked bat.
And now,
No,
19
no,
years
this is-
later, Bobby.
I mean,
brings
this
it
is
up.
probably like.
I was like, this is it. I can finally use this against him.
Wait,
I have no memory of
Look
that.
up any White Sox player. Yeah, not on the list. Boom.
Gosh, Barry Bonds 1 year before that only hit 49, and then he jumped all the way up to 73.
49 still impressive.
I mean, yeah, that's like really
The,
good.
the funny thing is, Barry Bonds was really good before steroids.
He was fast. He had a 30-30 season. 30 homers.
It's a
30
shame he'll
bases.
never get a call. It's a
I
shame
thought you
he'll
were
never
talking
get
about James
a.
Winston
No,
over here.
he had a 30-30 season.
30
in
touchdowns,
baseball.
30 picks.
He'll never get a card in MLB, man,
But
because he's a cheater. Like they, if you go on MLB The Show, and you look at the records, and it'll show single season record for home runs. It's just San Francisco Giants player. Like
Well,
they don't
have the rights to him. That's why.
Well, right, but I also don't think they would allow him in the game as much as
We'll have
because
to
Mark
see.
McGuire's not in the game.
Also, don't have rights to him.
is Sammy
No,
Sosa's in
they
the game,
don't have
right?
the rights to him.
Oh, wow.
Huh, three cheaters. Three cheaters.
Once you retire for the next 2 years, MLB has the rights to the name. So, like, Ichiro will be in the game. It can't be in the game now. But once they get retired in the MLB Hall of Fame, then MLB has rights to that name because it's in their house, and then they can sell it to San Diego.
Gotcha. So they have to
Wow.
contract. They have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So any guys who aren't in the Hall of Fame and aren't currently playing that are actually in the game, it's either their family or they have sold their rights to MLB to then use in the game.
I don't know why you wouldn't just sell your rights. I mean, that's
Because most of them, MLB says no because they're charging too much money.
Oh, fair enough.
Like I think Derek Jeter, was like, yeah, like you give me $50 million or something. Like it was a crazy amount of money. So they were like, no, we'll just wait until you're in the Hall of Fame and then we can just use you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look. I don't see any.
Well, I don't know because Randy Johnson's finally in the game for the first time this year, and he was inducted in 2015. I think they still have to
There might still be a certain amount of time though until after they get inducted. That's in. There are no White Sox players on this list. 45 home runs or more.
Who cares? I'm not upset.
Not upset.
That doesn't bother me at all, really.
Derek
I-
Lee is on here.
I couldn't care less. Aaron
wow.
Judge is going to sign with the White Sox next year, and then
No,
it's
he's not.
Yeah, that's
no, I know it won't happen.
They,
It won't happen. I know. I'm. Just
they didn't try to trade for Adam Frazier. You think they're going to try to sign Aaron Judge? They didn't try to sign Adam Frazier.
Yeah, you never know. Okay,
They need a left-handed hitter and a second baseman. Guy who fits both of those
Anything
criteria.
can happen.
No,
okay?
I just got a question for you, Andrew. If you shit in one hand and wish in the other, what's gonna fill up first?
What? Shut up.
It's a rhetorical question. All right.
Yeah,
That's such a weird statement to make.
That is
All right,
what-
moving on.
That's what my dad would always say
Chet
to me whenever.
Holmgren, the stick bug kid, as Andrew has called him multiple times. He got hurt in preseason.
Oh, what a
He
shot!
was guarding LeBron James, and I mean, that's just
LeBron
not even
James.
fair. Like that's
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a man
That's
backing down a
260
boy.
Yeah.
he
So
was-
he
he's a
tore a
child.
ligament in his foot. Maybe not. He's getting a second opinion, but he's gonna have surgery regardless. So he's gonna be out for at least opening month or so. But
Dude has to bulk up, man. I've been saying it.
That guy needs some protein shakes.
yeah, and it's just not even like LeBron's big, but he plays a very similar position to Zion Williamson and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think it matters how good you are at spreading the floor or not. Like you're eventually gonna go up against those guys, and
They're gonna body you.
yeah. I think he was a good pick, but also you have to realize as Thunder fans that it's going to take a couple years.
Oh yeah, because his whole thing is he has to bulk up.
Yeah.
He is not going to survive because what is he going to play 4 or 5?
Yeah.
He's like
You can't put him at 3 because then you got guys like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are 3s. They're not going to be. He's not fast enough to guard those guys.
Yeah, right. That's why he's
Yeah.
going to play the 4 or the 5, and he needs to bulk up because he is going to get manhandled
Yeah.
by pretty much any other player in the league.
Just look at the Bulls this year. Vukovic, slightly shorter than Chet Holmgren, but bigger by weight, still got bullied by Giannis and the Bucks, big men.
Yep.
So they went and got Andre Drummond, just a huge guy.
Yeah.
The Thunder fans, you can't expect him to be your saving grace and win.
Yeah, like there's got to be some like physical development. He's got talent. Like his talent isn't the question. Can he put on the weight, keep on the weight, and be good with like if he puts on all the weight, is he still going to be the Chet Holmgren you drafted, or is the weight going to slow him down to where he can't play his style of basketball? That's the concern.
Yeah.
And that was always my biggest thing is like he is so skinny. He's not fast enough to play anything other than the 4 or 5. You can maybe try and put him at the 3, but that's playing it a little risky in my opinion. Either way, I think he's still like scrawny enough to where he can get bodied by certain players still.
I think he can get bodied by Kevin Durant, who's not a big guy either.
Yeah. Like
Although Kevin Durant's been putting in the work this offseason.
He's staying with Brooklyn as well.
He's staying with Brooklyn, and so is Kyrie. There's a thing out there that they just said that to get people to not sign other free agents early. Like big teams, like the LA Lakers did not do any moves. So Brooklyn was trying to just muddy the waters so that other teams snuck in.
Playing chess, I see.
That's some dirty.
But yeah, like Thunder, he needs to get bigger before he can really carve out a career in the NBA. And we could end up being wrong, but I feel pretty confident in saying that if he doesn't get bigger and stronger, he's going to get bullied.
Yeah,
Or he's going to find his way off. Like Lauri Markkanen was a top 10 pick, not quite highest 3.
Yeah,
but he was a good
number
3-point
7
shooter, but couldn't really play post defense against bigger guys.
He was tissue paper.
And then you saw he became a trade piece. It's like he still has value for our team, but he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And that might happen to Chet. You don't expect a number 2 overall pick to do that, but hopefully he bulks up a little bit. I mean, he bulked up big from last year to this year because I think he started summer ball like 18 pounds heavier than when he started at Gonzaga last year.
That's good.
In the preseason, so it's just keep doing that.
I mean, it's not easy to put on weight. And,
No.
I mean, you got to put on weight properly.
Well, that's where you got to look at 2 guys that both got drafted this year: Kofi Cockburn from Illinois and Chet Holmgren. Kofi Cockburn needs to work on his footwork and his stamina, but he's already like 280 pounds.
Yeah, he's already big.
He's already big, so then you just got to build on that. Whereas Chet has to put on weight, then also build his stamina back up because you're not going to be running crazy, and he still has to produce how he produced at Gonzaga, or else you're not going to want him.
I mean, he doesn't have an easy road ahead of him, but he does have the talent to succeed.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Like it'll be probably. I think next offseason is when you'd expect to see like a real difference in his size.
Yeah.
If he's still scrawny going into next offseason, I would be concerned.
Yeah. Unless he gets scrawny and then becomes more of a 3, but they're really working on his footwork and really hey, you can't play. You're just going to be a freaking 7-foot 3, which is going to be ridiculous to see out there. But Kevin Durant's like 6'11", he plays 3, so
yeah. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But
I don't follow NBA preseason because I think it's dumb. Just like NBA, it's like you got to see what your rookies are out there for, and some of the G League guys who play. It's like I want to see what else is out there. But when a big guy gets hurt, top 5 always gets me worried. Like Greg Oden, never really got a chance. Hopefully this doesn't turn into that, but
I'd hope not.
We'll see. We'll see if Stickbug is out there by the end of the year.
We certainly will. But we'll I mentioned it. The majority of the show is going to be our NFL talk. So we'll do another 180 3-point turn, U-turn, whatever.
It's like at 9 degrees. We're talking about preseason.
We're gonna
basketball,
pull in the driveway this time back out.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it safe.
We're gonna stay a little bit.
Yeah. So let's get into some NFL talk. The big news. Well, some of the big news.
The big news is Daz Newsome got cut. Right?
Yeah, really. A week
My
after
star of the week, week 1.
Right after the whole
man,
shout out and
that's-
everything, he gets cut. That's pretty rough. But no, so the big thing, and this is the story, I think we all kind of expected it though, Baker Mayfield is going to be the week 1 starter for Carolina, which happens to be facing Cleveland. We've talked about that as
Huge.
well.
I'm excited for week 1.
I hope this gets bumped to a national game.
It should. Like
I hope they bump this to like, not Sunday night, but like
They're
this,
gonna probably flex it to the 3:30 if it was.
I could see this being the 3:30 game, like America's
Yeah.
game of the week or whatever. Is it the matchup you necessarily want? You know, are you really like, oh, I want to watch Baker Mayfield and the Browns without
Jacoby
Deshaun Watson?
Brissett,
yeah, like the matchup
Is
isn't.
it Jacoby Brissett or are they gonna go with?
It'll probably be Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who played really good for the Browns?
Oh, heck if I know.
I,
It'll most likely be Jacoby Brissett.
wasn't that like Stewart guy or
No,
something?
I'm gonna look it up.
Either way, like it's on paper.
Oh, Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
Dobbs.
yeah.
On
Sorry.
paper, it's not the matchup you want to flex to America's game of the week, but it's the storyline you want
Yeah.
for America's game of the week. Like this
Sure.
will get. I think people will watch. One, Baker Mayfield just draws attention. Whether you love him or hate him, he brings in coverage and he brings in viewers.
And I mean, this is it for him. Like, is he
This
gonna
is-
carve out a name for himself in the league?
is this
Like,
is this his villain origin story here?
Yeah.
Like this is probably Baker's last true shot. And he gets to start off, and we know how he is with like revenge and being a fiery guy.
Yep.
So I would really hope that this becomes a national game that we're able to watch here. It would I'm honestly looking forward to that almost more than the Bears' first game. Just being entirely
I mean,
honest.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get wrecked by San Francisco, so yeah.
Yeah, like we're gonna
Maybe
get.
put it on at the same time because usually you can watch 2 games at 12. So we
Yeah,
just
I
have
don't
to watch
care
the
what
Bears
time. I
game.
don't care what time slot they put it in, but I want it to be one of the games that we're able to watch here in Chicago.
Yeah,
yeah,
just a
like-
national game.
So
I don't want it to be
that's
for-
probably the biggest like story going into week 1.
Well, I mean, Seahawks and Broncos.
Yeah, but there was a lot less like disrespect
Yeah,
and
there wasn't,
drama
but I
there.
mean,
That was Russ was ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. That was a mutual parting of ways.
I think there's a lot of good games week 1 matchup wise. It's just this is the most media attention you could have on an opening game because of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well this like the drama is here.
Yeah.
Like we all know the story of the
Like,
Browns
it's
and
Bills-
Baker relationship.
Bills Rams.
deteriorating.
That's probably going to be the game of the week to watch, talent wise.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no animosity between Josh Allen and Matthew.
Yeah,
Stafford.
like there's this game, the Carolina and Cleveland game it's so much deeper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in
'Cause-
Cleveland or is it in North Carolina?
I don't know. I do not know.
Because
off
I
the
think
top
it'd be
of my
interesting
head.
to see because like you watch like Albert Pujols go back to St. Louis on the Angels and people still cheer for him. Same thing, Freddie Freeman back in Atlanta. There's a huge homecoming for it.
Yeah.
I think 60% of Cleveland fans like Baker, but I think 40% of them are like, no, we hate.
He's a
him. the
controversial
worst."
guy for sure. I think
So
it's
it's
I honestly think it's pretty comparable to and I'm going to use this just because of our area, but the Trubisky stuff with the Bears.